Doctor Who Flux Chapter 4 Village of the Angels, 4th episode of Series 13, is written by Chris Chibnall and Maxine Alderton, and starring Jodie Whittaker, Mendip Gill and John Bishop. So yeah, this is the only Series 13 episode that's written by someone else, despite being written by Chris Chibnall as well. And the Weeping Angels are obviously the focus of this episode, which is awesome! So this episode began with Claire Brown from the Halloween Apocalypse, wired up in the lie detector with Professor Jericho taking the test, and surprised by her answers. After the test is done, Claire is taking a break and said the angel has the TARDIS. Speaking of TARDIS, the Doctor, Dan and Yaz are inside about to get captured by Weeping Angels. As the TARDIS is powering down, the Doctor puts two wires together and got everyone to blink. The TARDIS ended up in Mediton in 1967, and it was pretty funny when the Doctor sniffed the couple, Gerald and Jean, and got the year bit wrong, so Yaz and Dan acts as the assistants to help Gerald and Jean find their great niece Peggy, who went missing. Vincent Brimble and Gemma Churchill did a great job. The Doctor goes inside Jericho's house to investigate and recall briefly meeting Claire. The place is surrounded by Weeping Angels, which is so intense. Seegan Akinola's music is phenomenal. It fits in perfectly, you can feel the intensity. The Weeping Angel coming out of the drawing and being on fire was so cool, and when they came out of the TV screen, it's a nice callback from the time of the Angels during Matt Smith's run, and Claire about to turn into a Weeping Angel for looking in the eye, similar thing that happened to Amy Pond, mostly in Flesh and Stone. Annabelle Scully plays Claire Brown, who's a psychic and had a series of premonitions. One of her premonitions is Weeping Angel inside her head to get to the Doctor to be in the division. She's great, I like Claire. Kevin McNally plays Professor Eustachius Jericho, who's a parapsychologist from Village in Mediton. I really like Jericho, he's fantastic. And of course, Kevin McNally previously played Hugo Lang in The Twin Dilemma, the 6th Doctor, Colin Baker's first story. Kevin jokingly said Jericho is Lang's great-great-grandfather. That would be so cool if that was the case. After Claire tells the Doctor that she's about to turn into a Weeping Angel, Jericho puts the headsets on the Doctor and Claire so the Doctor can talk to Weeping Angel, saving Claire's life in cold Canap Beach. It looks so cool in the effects with the blue colouring. We learn about extraction squads for the division, explaining the division that the group uses everything and everyone, every species, every world, every moment. It offers her an ultimatum: stop the squad of angels from obtaining its knowledge of the division and the Doctor's forgotten lives. It will spare Claire's life and give the Doctor the information. While Jericho is facing Weeping Angels, it was so funny when they used his voice and Jericho was like, "Please stop using my voice. It's a very clever trick, but most impolite without permission." It's a great line. Of course, Jericho threw his cup of tea at the Doctor to wake her and Claire up, so they got out. And it's pretty cool seeing Weeping Angel's arms sticking out the walls. It's like something you'd see in horror movies. Meanwhile, Yaz and Dan ended up in 901. After being touched by a Weeping Angel, they looked inside a house and found Peggy, the missing girl. Apparently, the Weeping Angels promised to leave her alone. Gerald and Jean ended up in 901. After touching a Weeping Angel, thinking it's a prank, they reunited with Peggy. She, Yaz and Dan told them to keep back, but they didn't listen and being disintegrated, which is a sad scene. Weeping Angel sent back in time is a great callback from Blink and the Angels Take Manhattan. Professor Jericho is sent back in time. Quantum extraction with Mediton sliced in half of 2 different time zones is pretty effective. And there's a crazy scene where the old lady, Mrs. Hayward, sees Peggy and reveals to be old Peggy. I was like, whoa! Poppy Polovneck plays young Peggy, a missing girl from the village of Mediton, where she ends up in 1901, and she wouldn't return to 1967 until 66 years' time, later known as Mrs. Hayward, played by Penelope McGee, and I think they both did a great job. It's a really sad story for Peggy, the fact that she lost her family and stuck in the past and won't return to her time until she's old, her life being used up. Meanwhile, on a planet, Namaka met Belle, thinking Azure will help freeing everyone, but Belle knows it's not true. So while people are teleported away to be imprisoned, Belle saved Namaka, but he didn't believe her and ran away. Namaka asked Parvez Poe was a survivor of the Flux, and I think Blake Harrelson is brilliant. And of course we know him as Neil Sutherland from The Inbetweeners. The funny guy. I've met Blake at Comic-Con, he was really nice. After Jericho is sent to 1901 with Dan and Yaz, the the Doctor realises that the Weeping Angel wanted the Doctor, so we get a really cool cliffhanger where the Doctor turns into a Weeping Angel. And there's a great post-credit scene where Namaka helps Vinda to find Bell, as Namaka realises that Bell saved his life. The end credits theme went a bit quiet, which is a great fitting. I really love this episode. It's great to see Weeping Angels back, like I said. The design is brilliant. It is my favourite Series 13 episode, and my top 3 favourite 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker episodes. What did you think of Village of the Angels? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Don't get stoned. I'll see you in the next video.